Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amulafua, it's the first time here. And today's video I am going to be doing a foundation collection slash top foundations for dark skin. I'm doing this because I know how hard it can be to find foundations in a darker shade range, and even after Fenty Beauty, a lot of brands are still not catching on to making complexion products that actually work on a variety of complexions. So I really just wanted to put this video out to help you if you don't know where to start and things like that. Please hit the bell button so that you get notified when I upload. So please stick around. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and let's get into this video. So I'm going to be going through them from my favorites to my least favorite. My skin concerns, I have normal to oily skin. I prefer medium coverage over full coverage. I do have hyperpigmentation and dark spots, like I had this spot on my nose that just healed and left a black dot. But I don't mind imperfections showing through my foundation. My number one of all time, which you guys likely already know, Estee Lauder Double Wear. I have it in the shade Rich Mahogany. I feel like at this point, if you watch my channel at all, you know that this is my favorite foundation of all time. I have it in the shade 7C1 Rich Mahogany. It's quite a pricey foundation, but I'm just gonna explain. Most of my foundations are a little bit higher end, just because it's so difficult for me to find a foundation my shade for cheap. 3 years ago, it was much more difficult to find foundations in my shade in drugstores or just at cheaper price points. You'd only get them in like Lancome and Estee and things like that. So unfortunately, a lot of my foundations are higher end. Just putting that out there. Now there's so many other options. I will leave them all linked in the description box, the ones that people I know have recommended and stuff like that. Estee Lauder Double Wear is great. Even though this is red and my undertones are neutral but leaning more towards yellow, it adjusts to my skin tone so well. So even though it is a little bit red when I first put it on, it looks perfectly fine after it's like gotten time to like sink into my skin. I absolutely love this. I can't recommend this enough. I think this is just a beautiful, beautiful foundation. I don't think you can go wrong with Estee Lauder. If you don't own any foundations at all, and I think they've even extended their shade range. If you don't own any foundation at all, this is the one that I would say go get. My second favorite after that, which I got last year, because it launched last year, is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. I have it in the shade 450, which is a little light for me. I feel like I should have got 470, but it works. I have it on my face right now mixed with my Lancome foundation. I will explain why when I get to my Lancome foundation. Love this. It's really dry. Like, it's really, really dry. So if you have oily skin, this is a great foundation. If you have more normal skin like I do, sometimes it can feel a little like crackly dry. So I will usually mix it in with something illuminating or highlighting and make sure that I have moisturized heavily underneath, because otherwise it will like crack. But it's such a nice foundation that it looks so skin-like if you use the right amount. I really love it for like kind of like no makeup looks. I really can't recommend this enough. They go deep. They go so deep, and the like distribution of shades is so nice. I was so excited to get this when it came out. While I'm on that and on it being too light for me, I think a lot of dark skin girls make the mistake of buying foundations that are too dark for them. And so, with that said, I will move into my third favorite foundation, which is the Lancome Tiny Doll. So I went in store to buy this. I think I went to a Macy's or something like that, and I listened to the white lady at the counter, which you should not do. Don't listen to the white people. Because a friend of mine uses this and she's 550, and so I was like, and she's kind of like, we're similar in shade, so I was like, okay, I'm 550. I went in the store and the woman was like, oh my god, no, like you're way too dark, like you are definitely 555. And I was like, okay sis, sure. And I took the 555 and I went home, and every time I wore it, it looked great because it was too dark for me. I think a lot of dark skin girls are so used to being the darkest shade, if there is a dark enough shade for you, that you kind of just like instinctively think you're the darkest shade, and that's just not the case because there are brands where you will not be. And I will always match my foundation to my chest because my neck is darker than my chest and my face is also darker than my chest. So I just match my foundation to my chest and then it matches my whole body and I just look like everything matches. Please don't buy foundation with the lights in the store. Go outside and like see what it looks like in daylight, because sometimes the store lighting also like they try to get you with that. So yeah, I like this foundation. I love this because of how it makes me feel when I wear it. Like when you wear this foundation, you feel expensive. It's just kind of the way it works. You just feel expensive, like you feel like luxury. It's like a velvet matte texture, and so when you're putting it on, it's just such an experience wearing this foundation. So right now what I do is I mix it in with other things because it is so dark for me. I mix it in with my Fenty or with my Maybelline one, which I will get to in a minute. And yeah, it's not so great at oil control. I think it's a very natural finish, and so if you're very oily, I wouldn't recommend this actually. A lot of people do recommend it. I personally wouldn't. I don't think it's the best at oil control that I've tried. I think Estee Lauder is much better. But for a first foundation, it's great if you have normal skin. Sometimes also it does settle into my lines, so I also wouldn't recommend it for people who have a lot of wrinkles or fine lines and stuff like that. Other than that, it feels nice. That's really it. It feels nice. And Lancome was one of the first brands to kind of really make foundations for darker skin people, so shout outs to them. Now moving on to, okay, my only powder foundation is the Bare Minerals matte powder foundation. I have it in the shade Deepest Deep 30. This is what it looks like. It's rather red, to be quite frank. I wish it was a little bit more neutral or more yellow, but it does the job. And it's a great foundation for a hot day because it's so light on the skin. If you've just like taken a shower and you come out and you just like are applying the powder to your skin, so you're not sweating or anything like that, it feels really nice. You don't really feel it throughout the day. It kind of just evens out your skin. So I really like it for that. It's very lightweight. I don't recommend it if like you are already sweating and you put it on, then it feels kind of icky, so don't do that. But other than that, great foundation. You get so much product. It doesn't look like a lot, but you really need very, very little to cover your whole face. It gives you medium coverage, but it's available to full coverage. All of the ones I mentioned so far are like that. I just think it's a really nice foundation. It's great that they make a powder foundation this deep if you want something like that. I think it's also better for acne, if you have like acne prone skin, to use powder foundations over liquid. I feel like I read that somewhere. So now moving on into my like lower category. I don't hate these, but they're not like my favorite foundations. ABH Stick Foundation. I have it in the shade Earth. I bought this when it first came out because I was still trying to find a good foundation for me, and I was just like, let me try. So I bought the ABH Stick. If you've seen my model makeup video, this is probably the best matching foundation I have, period. Like, it literally disappears into my skin. Like, when I'm putting it on my face in that video, you can't even tell that I'm putting foundation on my face. I also use this in my brother does my makeup challenge video. You cannot tell that he's putting foundation on my skin because it matches my skin that well. So because of that, I wear this a lot in the winter and things like that when I'm not really looking for oil control or anything like that. I just want something to even out my skin tone. It's great for more controlled weather. But if it's hot and humid where you are, I don't recommend this at all. Great foundation if you have dry or normal skin and you live in a like temperate environment. Especially if you're like exactly my shade, please get that foundation. It will be your perfect match, like ever. These are kind of tied, so the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. I have them in the shade 370 and 375, so deep bronze and Java. I don't have a shade in this foundation line, so I'm somewhere between these two. 375 is too dark, 370 is way too light. And I think the undertones are a little off too. They're both a little too neutral for me. So I usually will put this in the center of my face and then put the Lancome one in the perimeter of my face. But I don't know, I've kind of fallen out of love with these because they also don't look as good on my skin as they used to when I first bought them. I don't know if it's because I'm in hotter weather now. But I put it to my friend and she, like, it looks so good on her skin. So I think it's really just a matter of trying it. I really feel like this is a great drugstore foundation. Like, you do not need to spend like bajillion bucks on foundation. Brands like Maybelline and NYX and stuff like that are really doing the work for dark skin girls in the drugstore price range. So definitely check this out. It's just, for some reason, it stopped working on my Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. I have it in the shade Deep 81 Cool. I don't mind this foundation, it's just not a personal favorite. It's kind of heavy, I feel. I think the main thing that puts me off though is just the shade. Because I feel like Deep 78 would be too light for me and Deep 81 is way too dark. Like, it looks like a cast when I wear it because it's so grey. It just doesn't work on my skin that way. But if you do find your shade in this foundation, it's the most full coverage foundation I think in the universe. Like, the tiniest bit of this will cover your whole entire face and be like, what is a pimple? Like, what is a spot? Frankly, like, this is such a heavy coverage foundation. I don't know, it's not my favorite. Like, I would definitely reach for everything else I've mentioned before reaching for this. So that's why it's so low on my charts. Now, my least favorite foundation that I own. MAC Studio Fix Fluid, shade NW55. It's literally orange pigment in a bottle, frankly. It was like, I think this was the first high-end foundation I ever bought, like ever, even before the Estee Lauder one. Because you know, like, that's where you go when you wanted foundation and you're dark and it's 2015 or like 2014 and so nobody makes your shade, right? You go to MAC. So I went to MAC, I tried NW55. The girl was like, yes, like, this is you. I was like, yes, I feel like I look popping. So I bought it, I bought it at the store. It's like, I wore it one more day after that, and every other time I've worn this foundation since then, I feel like I look mad. Like, I look so mad. I look mad. This foundation makes me look mad. Like, I look so orange. And it gets so oily. I don't understand what it is because it used to look so good on me. And I know so many people that love this foundation. I just can't get on with it. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I can't. And it feels really heavy. It just feels too foundation-y for me, I think is what it is. Like, I don't like to feel makeup on my skin and I really feel this on my skin. So that's probably why it's so low on my favorites list, and I wouldn't recommend this. Sorry. So let's do a recap, shall we? Top recommendations: Estee Lauder, Fenty, Lancome. ABH stick, if you're exactly my shade, get the shade Earth. You will never find a better foundation match, trust me. Thank you guys so much for making it through to the end of this video if you did. I feel like it's gonna be hella long. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. Hit the bell button so you don't miss any more videos. Like this video and share it to your friends that are dark girls that need help in this makeup industry. And I will catch you guys in my next video. I will most likely be uploading a contour products one next, so stick around. Alright, bye guys.